Hello viewers and welcome back to Resident Evil 4. And today I have something a little bit different for you guys because I'm not recording this commentary live. I actually recorded this entire episode quiet and I was going to do a voiceover after I finished it, which is what I'm doing now. And I know I'm kind of over explaining it a little bit, but it's fine. I just want to make sure you guys get it that I won't be talking about the gameplay very much in this episode. I'm mainly going to be talking about the whole situation with Felix. And if you don't know who Felix is, it's PewDiePie, the biggest YouTuber on YouTube. And I'm going to talk about why I'm upset with everything that's been happening, why I'm so not emotionally involved, but why I'm so into this situation is because this YouTube community means a lot to me, and I understand if some people don't get that. Like, I understand if you're just a viewer of mine that just watches because you enjoy the games that I play. That's fine. But I am a firm believer that this YouTube community is one of the strongest communities you can ever ask for. And honestly, it upsets me whenever I see things like PewDiePie or whoever getting any kind of hate or any kind of criticisms only because he or they or whoever is making millions of dollars a year. I personally don't feel like that is a bad thing. Like, who said making a lot of money doing things that aren't really traditional to making money? How is that a bad thing? I mean, it's a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job that isn't really working class. And PewDiePie over the past 3 years at least has been getting attacked by the media saying things like, "Oh my gosh, PewDiePie makes that much money for screaming at a mic? What?" Yeah, you might not understand it, and you might not appreciate it, but there can be a good art to YouTube. It's not always about the screaming. It's not always about the playing video games. It's about being an entertainer, and they don't see that. They don't see it because it's not traditional to be an online entertainer. And over the past 4 years, that trend has grown so big, and the mainstream media or in other words, the old school media is clashing with this new media that they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't appreciate it. And I understand if you feel like YouTube is a joke. YouTube is something that shouldn't be taken seriously. Sure, fine, whatever. If you think that, honestly, then I personally feel like you're a little bit closed-minded. No offense. But you gotta realize that there is and there can be an art to YouTube. There can be meaningful stuff on here. Yeah, of course, sometimes there isn't when you look at things like FouseyTube and people like people who stir racial tensions just for views and money. They're the problem. They're the issue. They're the ones that don't need to be in this community. They're the ones that you're looking at saying, well, why is he making this money? Those are the ones you need to look at and say, he needs to get off this platform. He doesn't care. But the people like PewDiePie, the Markipliers, the Jacksepticeyes, all the YouTubers who have raised so much money for charity, is that a joke? Is that something that shouldn't be taken seriously? Is that something that should be thrown underneath the rug? That's an honest question. And honestly, guys, I want your opinion on this in the comments section, because this is something I'm really passionate about. It's something that I care a lot about, especially in the past 4 years. I've spent so much of my time on YouTube, and I understand that this is a community. This is something that was built by a community, not created in a studio with thousands of dollars put into it for production and whatever. Like the news shows you see, those were manufactured. They were created by money. But YouTube was created by the community coming together and creating content. That's what YouTube is. That's why it's successful. And that's why I love it so much. There's a passion for this. There is a huge passion for YouTube that is in my heart. It will not die. It will never die. It will never be. They will never be matched by anything. YouTube has done so much good, and the fact that the mainstream media just doesn't see that, they're threatened by YouTube. They don't want you to have a voice, and on YouTube there are thousands of people with a voice now. Yeah, it may not always carry, but the people like PewDiePie, they are targeted because his voice does matter. His voice does carry, and mainstream media is threatened by that. And it's so obvious to me that their goal is to try and take PewDiePie down, but they are failing. They failed miserably. They are failing miserably, because we can see through all the BS they're putting out, all the lies. Like, we know, this community knows PewDiePie is not a fascist. We know he is not a anti-Semite. We know he's not a racist. We know he's not a Hitler supporter. We know he's not in that realm of. It's, you know what I mean, man. Like we all know, and for the people who don't know, you obviously haven't watched a single bit of PewDiePie. If you, well, actually no, I'll tell you what. If you've actually seen everything that the news has put out, everything that they've been saying in their cute little articles, saying that he's some kind of racist, fascist, Nazi supporter, then maybe you'll think he's some kind of racist like that. Sure, but if you've actually watched PewDiePie's videos where he's explained and gave you, I don't know, context about what's been going on, then you'll get the full story. Then you'll know where I'm coming from. You'll get like, okay, obviously this newscaster, these news articles are lying to get you to read their dang article by putting out these practically pretty much clickbait title articles that we have seen many times before. The news loves doing that, especially with PewDiePie. You've seen it. Surely, I'm sure you've seen it. At least a couple of them. PewDiePie, $4 million a year or whatever. It's just like they just care about the money he makes, and they care about anything that will get them to get people to buy their articles or read them, because at the end of the day, it's always about money. That's all they care about. And like I said before, they are threatened by the YouTube community because they know that we have a voice. And usually I'm the one who's always saying, not in YouTube anyway, but I usually am the one who's saying, no, we don't really have a voice. Our voice doesn't really carry that far. But I'll tell you what, on YouTube, it carries. Not always, but the chances of it carrying on YouTube are a lot more higher than whenever you're going out to the streets and rioting and protesting. They don't care about that. But they care about the YouTubers because they know that we have a voice. Why else would they target PewDiePie on a regular basis? No, not because it's a slow news day. Well, yeah, maybe it could be that. You never know. But they target PewDiePie because puts a big old spotlight on them. The YouTube community has done way too much to be destroyed by these news sites that just don't give context at all. Now don't get me wrong, what PewDiePie said in those videos and what he did was pretty distasteful, and I won't really defend that. But what I will defend is the way the media is portraying it. And that's what I've been doing throughout this video. I've been saying that it's just the media loves to take things out of context, and it's just, heaven forbid they get the news right and tell you what actually happened instead of lying to you and lying about what was said and done in the videos. And the sheer fact that they are trying to push this narrative of PewDiePie being a Nazi, fascist, racist, Sweden dude is just ridiculous. It's pathetic, and it's honestly something that really strikes a nerve with me, because it's that we are supposed to be able to trust these news sites, right? How can we trust a news site whenever they lie about something a YouTuber did? Now, if a YouTuber, if they really don't take YouTubers seriously, then why are they taking something that we said that far out of context? Why are they picking on us, the YouTubers, when we're just the stupid, talentless people on a website posting videos? Why are they wasting time on us if we're so bad, if we're so stupid, if we're so talentless pieces of crap? Then why are they wasting their time doing articles on us? Yeah? Because they are threatened by YouTube. They don't want us to have a voice, so they try to target our biggest draw and our biggest success story on YouTube. They target PewDiePie to try and destroy PewDiePie. And they failed. They failed pretty freaking badly. Because PewDiePie is still growing. PewDiePie is still the biggest YouTuber on the earth. And they will never be able to crush him. And it just, no matter how many times they try, PewDiePie won't leave until he wants to leave. And that's just a fact. And they hate that. They hate that PewDiePie has that draw. They hate that PewDiePie has a following. And they hate that his voice carries. If it wasn't for our community being so strong and so together on this, the media could possibly win at destroying us. But since we're all together on this, it really just kind of shows the media that they will never be able to destroy our community. No matter how hard they try, they won't. Because so many YouTubers came out in defense of PewDiePie. H3 Productions, Philip DeFranco, Keemstar of all people, Tommy C, which, by the way, Tommy C's radio show was really good. I highly recommend you checking out his live stream he did on PewDiePie's issue. But everybody defends PewDiePie because they know PewDiePie. They know that this is just mainstream media taking a story and folding it and twisting it into the way they want it to be seen. And it's, like I said, it's pathetic, man. Like, I love this community so freaking much. There's not very many creators on here that I don't like and I don't respect. There's so many. I could go on for the longest time and just name them all off, but it's just, whenever I see a YouTuber being attacked by media, like PewDiePie has been,
Look, there's a crank over
it
there.
strikes a nerve with me. And whenever I see that, it just frustrates me because I know that he loves it and he doesn't. He was just trying to be funny, and he realizes that it was distasteful. But PewDiePie even said that there was like half of his audience that thought it was hilarious, and the other half thinking it was distasteful. At the end of the day, it's just, it's really up to the viewer to decide what is funny and what is crossing the line, because we are in an age or time where more edgy jokes are presented in comedy, and when PewDiePie tries to do it, it just flies back into his face. And I honestly think that that's mainly because of his image and his platform that he's on. If it wasn't for him being on YouTube, I highly doubt he would be getting all this hate and all this backlash on anything. I bet you if George Lopez or any other comedian like Gabriel Iglesias or whoever did a race joke like that, everybody got a smack on the wrist and everyone would have forgotten. But no, because this is PewDiePie and he's making millions of dollars a year, then he's going to be targeted to the furthest extent because he's on YouTube and he draws money and he is the big dog. And honestly, I say they're attacking PewDiePie because there was a YouTuber that I watched a while back, and honestly, he made a couple German jokes every now and again. He would like Photoshop him in a picture next to Hitler. But do you want to know why the news didn't pick on him? Because why would they pick on a 4 million sub guy whenever they got a 49 million sub guy, 50 million, whatever, who can bring them more views on their lovely little articles, in turn giving them more money. They're not doing it because it's in the news. They're doing it because it's bringing them more money. Because they didn't report it on Leafy, but they reported on PewDiePie. The way I see it, I continue. I'm gonna say I don't have anything against Leafy or anything he's done in the past. Well, there's some criticisms there, but I don't want to ramble on about that too much. But what I'm saying is, the news would not report on him because he's not big enough. And it wouldn't draw them any money. Because say a news article was written about Leafy. They don't know. Nobody knows. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody knows, but the average viewer wouldn't really know what Leafy is, so they wouldn't do an article on him because they wouldn't draw them any kind of money. They don't care about what's in the news. They just want to know what brings them the most money. At the end of the day, that's all it comes back to. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not targeting Leafy at all. I'm just saying, just an example. If they really cared about this hate speech that they think PewDiePie has brought, then they should have done the same thing they did to Leafy I mean, come on. And if you disagree with me, I understand, but that's just how I personally see it. And that's totally fine. It's just, it drives me nuts, man, because like people really think that PewDiePie is some kind of Nazi, but the YouTube community, who actually knows Felix, knows he isn't. But people who read that news article, actually, some of them do believe what they read, and not even think for a second that, hey, what I'm reading here could be false, you know? And that's just about the end of my thoughts on the whole PewDiePie thing. But before I go, I want to say that PewDiePie, I stand with you, but maybe you should kind of reconsider some of those race jokes you've done. Maybe try and not do them anymore, because it didn't really bring much good. So if you want my advice, then that's what I got for you, man. I know there's not a chance heck that you're gonna see this, but I just want that to be on here. I want you guys to know my opinion on the matter. But that is just about the end of today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode for what it was, because I know I rambled about YouTube the entire time, and if you didn't like it, that's totally fine, and I probably won't do it too many more times. I'll try and focus on the gameplay from now on. But yeah, that is the end of today's video, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video.
You alright?
I'm fine! Leave me alone!
Ashley, wait!